In this video, we're taking a look at the Roush Y-Pipe fitting all 2015 to 2023 EcoBoost Mustangs, as well as 2024 and newer EcoBoost Mustangs that are equipped with the factory active exhaust. If you're looking for a simple and affordable way to get some more power and volume out of your EcoBoost Mustang, Roush has got you covered right here. This is a small part that can make a pretty significant difference in the sound and performance of your car. Now, we tested this one out on our 2018 EcoBoost with both the stock exhaust and an aftermarket option. With the stock exhaust intact, we're going to give this a pretty solid 3 out of 5 on our loudness meter. It's definitely a noticeable change, but not too over the top. Paired with the C&L Sport Catback though, this really wakes things up, and accordingly, we're going to give that setup the full 5 out of 5. Now, as always with a part like this, your results may vary a bit depending on what you're running in conjunction with it, but overall this will make a noticeable difference in volume and also in fun. From the factory, the EcoBoost cars don't really make a lot of exhaust noise. Adding in this Y-pipe though is an easy and inexpensive way to solve that problem. This is effectively a resonator delete pipe, so this is going to take the place of your stock resonator toward the front of the system, and it will of course open up your exhaust quite a bit, like you heard from the clips at the start of the video. It gives the EcoBoost more of a deep, grumbly sound, something that is befitting a sports car. It's going to be louder both inside and outside, so just expect to have to turn up the music a bit more than you're used to. Now, the other big thing that this accomplishes is a reduction in back pressure. Since there's physically less stuff for the exhaust gases to work their way through, everything can flow a bit better and more smoothly and thus quicker. That means there's less pressure in the system to slow down your turbo. So you'll likely notice a quicker spool and some more power. And though we're not testing this on the dyno, don't expect huge gains, but it will unlock a little more oomph for you. It's also about 12 pounds lighter than your stock exhaust, so you're saving a bit of weight down low in the car, which, while it's not automatically going to turn your car into a track weapon, on a heavier car like the S550 and S650, every little bit helps. Now, the other cool thing about this Y-pipe is that it also allows you to build your exhaust system exactly the way you want it. That can help keep costs in check, and it allows you some more flexibility to customize your car the way you want to. You can run this with an otherwise factory standard exhaust from here back, you can add an axle back, or even pair it with a new downpipe or a full catback for a really wild setup. The piping here is all 2¼ inch mandrel bent T304 stainless steel, so this is about the best material quality you can get, and it'll be very resistant to rust and corrosion. And the build quality is really good too, as we've come to expect from Roush. The welds are nice and even, and the mandrel bending ensures that this is going to flow very well, so there's no restrictions in the system, which is exactly why you want something like this. Pricing comes in at about $300, which is a really good price for an exhaust upgrade, and it's one of the more affordable Y-pipes on the market for these cars. And if you want an exhaust upgrade but you don't want to spend a ton of money, this is a great option for you. Installation gets a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. Now, you will have to do some cutting to your stock system, but overall it's not too much, and you can return the car to stock if need be. With that said though, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through that process.
For this install, you will need various impacts, a 13 and 15 millimeter socket, a whiz wheel with a flap disc, a metal cutting tool, a marker, and also not shown here is an extra set of hands. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing some exhaust work on our Mustang, but before we get started, we're going to send you to watch a quick video on how to remove your factory setup. We'll see you when you get back.
Now, your obvious first step here, guys, is to lift and support your car, whether it be on jack and jack stands, or in this case, a lift. Now, with the car up in the air, we're going to start by removing the two 13 millimeter bolts, securing these brackets back here towards the rear of the car. Now we can move up to our clamp here that secures our factory catback to our downpipe and loosen these two 15 millimeter nuts here. We don't have to remove them all the way. We just want to make sure we can loosen those enough to loosen this clamp up. So now with our forwardmost clamp loosened up, we're going to grab a buddy here, and what we're gonna do is get the exhaust off of the brackets here that secure it to the rear subframe, drop the front of the catback itself, and then at that point we can slide the rear of the factory catback out of these hangers.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we have our factory set up off and on the ground, it's time to mark out where we're going to need to cut to get our Y-pipe installed. So what we're gonna do is grab our Y-pipe. Now the straight through pipe is gonna go on the driver's side of the exhaust. The Y-pipe portion is going to go on the passenger side, and you'll be able to tell because these bends are gonna match up like so. So what we're gonna do is lay this directly on top of our factory setup. We're gonna line our inlet up right with our factory resonator inlet. Make sure that's nice and flush. Then you're gonna come over to your slip joints. You're gonna look straight down over top of them. You're gonna see the angle of the bends match. Now these are slip joints, so we're gonna need to mark out where we're going to cut to allow for ample meat on our pipe for our slip joints to go onto. So what we're gonna do is grab a marker. You're gonna come to the reduced side of your slip joint and you're gonna mark right where that reduced part starts on both sides of this. Now you can also mark the end of your slip joint just to give you a reference point. Alrighty guys, so now we've got our exhaust up on the table and we've got our cutting wheel. You want to make sure you wear safety glasses when using anything to cut metal with. And we've got our spots marked out. We're going to begin cutting. Now we've got our first one cut off. Now you want to make sure the resonator and muffler section are supported after that, because this is going to fall off once you cut this second one. Go ahead and set our factory resonator aside. Alright guys, so now that we have everything cut, we need to clean up our factory pipe just to have all these burrs and everything, and that probably gonna have some exterior, a little bit of corrosion. We'll clean all that up as well. So we've got our whiz wheel with a flap disc. We're gonna clean this up real nice. Now once you've got this side all cleaned up, you can do the same thing for your other side. Alrighty guys, so now that we have everything cut, we're back over to the car to get our Y-pipe in place. So our inlet is going to go into our factory Torca clamp. Now if this did come off with your factory exhaust, you can just slide it right back on. Get that lined up and pushed into place. Now you want to make sure this seats as far as in as it'll go. Now we're gonna get our clamps in place over our slip joints. Line those up. The best spot for these is right flush with the end of your slip joint. You wanna make sure you have the nuts in an accessible spot that's also not gonna hit on anything once we get this fully in place. So we've got that on. Now we're gonna get our passenger side factory muffler back in place. So we're gonna line up our hanger with our isolator first. Get that fully in as far back as it'll go. We can get this lined up with our slip joint. You may need to do some tweaking, get this to sit. Once you get that in, at least partially, you can also set your hanger bracket in place. Now we're going to reinstall that 13mm bolt just loosely for now. This is just going to help hold position. So run that in. And you want to give a little push to get this seated as far in as you can get it. Then we can do the same thing for our driver's side muffler. Now once you've got both sides in position, we'll come back and tighten down our Torque clamp for our Y-pipe inlet with our 15mm socket. You want to make sure you tighten these down evenly as it does apply equal pressure to both pipes. Now that we've got that tight, make sure your tips are where you want them to be lined up, and we'll tighten down our AccuSeal clamps, again with our 15mm socket. And lastly, we'll come back and tighten down our two 13mm bolts for our hanger brackets with our 13mm socket. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our Roush Y-pipe for your 15 to current Mustang EcoBoost. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.